Activity Analysis of Washing a Car by Taylor Kenny and Josh Oliver.
In this video, we will analyze the activity of washing a car. Review required actions associated with the task, and discuss required skills, capacities, and abilities. Let's get started. First, locate a self-serve car wash near you. Drive to the car wash and enter the wash bay when available. Once you have entered the wash bay, make sure all windows are rolled up and closed in your vehicle. Once you have rolled up the windows, exit the vehicle and ambulate towards the bill changer, usually located near the center of the building. Insert bills into the bill changer. Notice the fine motor skills being used to obtain the quarters at the bill changer. It is important to obtain the correct amount of quarters. This wash specifically takes $1.50 per wash, and we are planning on doing 2 wash cycles during this activity. Therefore, we need $3 total. While we are grabbing our quarters, let's discuss other aspects of the activity.
The space demands for this activity include a built environment. The major structures of this are the building, specifically the car wash bay, in which you drive in and complete the activity. Furthermore, about space demands, it's important that whenever you pull into the car wash bay, that your vehicle is as centered as you can get it, and you are using the wand appropriately, which typically means about 8 inches away from the vehicle. For lighting, most car wash stations provide some type of lighting, so you're not limited to daylight hours for completing this task.
Now that we have discussed other aspects of the wash activity, ambulate back to the wash bay. Slowly begin inserting coins into the coin acceptor. Insert each coin individually, and as we said before, 1 wash cycle will equal 6 quarters.
A few things to be aware of when you're using these car wash stations specifically is the noise level when you're using the pressurized water. When it hits the vehicle, it can create an echo in the bay, which could be a problem for someone who is sensitive to this.
Once 6 quarters have been entered into the coin acceptor, ambulate over to the wash wand, grasp the wand, and pull it out of its holder. You will notice that shoulder flexion, elbow flexion, and extension and grip are used. Ambulate back to the coin acceptor and select high pressure soap from the options. You will see the yellow light turns on. Turn towards the vehicle and squeeze the trigger for high pressure. Sweep from left to right starting at the top to begin washing your vehicle. Continue to move around the vehicle, washing from top to bottom. Here you can see hand grip is being used and elbow flexion. Elbow extension, external rotation at the shoulder, internal and external rotation of the shoulder as you wash from left to right. As you wash the vehicle, you will notice shoulder abduction and adduction as you wash from top to bottom. Also during this time, elbow flexion is being utilized to stabilize the hose. notice that the lower extremities are also being stabilized during this activity. In this clip, we can see wrist flexion, then extension. Once the wash times out, release the trigger and continue to hold on to the wand. Ambulate back to the coin acceptor and insert 6 more coins. Once you have inserted 6 coins, press the rinse button. Return to the vehicle and continue to wash from top to bottom using left and right sweeping motions as you make your way around the vehicle. Here's a great view of the shoulder and elbow joint. We can see that the elbow joint is in flexion currently, and that we are adducting and abducting the shoulder joint as we make our passes across the vehicle. Let's take some time to discuss sensory input.
As far as sensory input goes, for completing this activity, we have to be aware of the smell of the soap, the feel of the vibration from the wand when we're squeezing for the water to come out, the temperature of the wash bay, the temperature of the water, and the loud sound of pressurized water hitting the vehicle.
It's important that when we are washing the vehicle, we are noticing that we are removing all of the soap that was left over from the first wash cycle. Let's further discuss some aspects of the activity.
In looking at why it is important to wash your vehicle, it's a sign of pride in that you're proud of what you have, and also, as expensive as vehicles are, it prolongs their life. Some more skills and abilities that we should be aware of, specifically from a cognitive standpoint, would be awareness of appropriate time to wash the car. For example, this would include not doing it when it's raining. It's also important to be aware of how much money you need to bring, the sequence of completing the task, awareness of time limitations, rolling your windows up, and problem solving if something isn't right. This could include being patient and waiting in line for a bay to open up if they're all taken. Communication skills for this task are something that's very important and may be limiting for some people. Most of the time, there's not an attendant there at all hours of the day. As we mentioned, these stations are typically open 24 hours a day. So it's important that someone who is going to use these stations has the ability to follow automated prompts as well as read signs. This activity also requires a lot of activity tolerance. Someone who has some type of exertional restriction, this might not be a good task for them to complete. The water hose is a tripping hazard for someone with a lack of safety awareness or who may be considered a big fall risk. There's limited room to move around within the wash bay, especially if you have a bigger vehicle. Range of motion and lifting restrictions, such as sternal precautions, would also be contraindicated for this activity, as it requires a lot of heavy lifting and overhead movements. If the typical way of completing this task proved too easy, or we wanted to challenge somebody, we could grade the activity up. One way of doing this, for example, would be somebody in a work hardening program. This could be a person returning to work after an injury and they need to work in the heat. This person could complete the task midday in the summer to expose him or herself to warm and humid conditions to prepare for returning to work.
Let's jump back into the activity. Once the time runs out, release the trigger and place the wand back into its holder. Ambulate back to vehicle, enter the vehicle, and exit the wash. You have completed the activity.